Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Olathe Chamber of Commerce and City of Olathe for our State of the City address. I'm Susan Lyman, Board Chair for the Olathe Chamber of Commerce. After months of wearing masks and social distancing, we would have embraced an opportunity to meet in person today. However, given the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the metro, we made the decision to safely deliver this annual celebration virtually. Today we celebrate Olathe and look forward to what tomorrow may hold for our beautiful city. It's been a crazy year for Olathe, and as we look forward to 2021, we can't wait to see what the future holds. As you know, the city and the chamber form a strong partnership when it comes to economic development. We're responsible for filling millions of square feet of commercial space within this community. Not only does that help to balance Olathe's tax base, generate investment, provide opportunities for Olathe, and add to the quality of life we sometimes take for granted, it also brings thousands of jobs to our community. By working with the city in this way, we are very aware that elected city officials and city employees are dedicated to investing in Olathe's future by offering quality city services and providing residents value for their tax dollars. I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Olathe Health and the City of Olathe, and also a huge shout out to our event sponsors, Aldi, Farmers Insurance, Garmin, Gilmore Bell, John Deere, and McCowan Gordon Construction. Now I'd like to introduce you to the man of the hour, our mayor, John Bacon. Mayor Bacon has faithfully served the City of Olathe on the City Council for more than 25 years and has been mayor since August of this year, taking over after the passing of Mayor Michael Copeland. Mayor Bacon is a graduate of Mid-America Nazarene University and a shareholder in Bacon and Associates CPA. He and his wife, Melanie, have 3 children and 4 granddaughters. Our mayor began his tenure on the City Council in April of 1995 in Ward 3, took over an at-large seat in 2001, and was appointed mayor pro tem in January. He serves on the Mahaffey Stagecoach Stop and Farm Foundation and previously served on the National Association of Board of Education and the Kansas State High School Activities Association Board, and has also served the Kansas Board of Education for 20 years. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our mayor, Mr. John Bacon. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome everyone to a one-of-a-kind State of the City. Before we begin, I want to personally thank each of you for taking the time to join us and learn a little bit more about where we are as a city. The fact that you're here and you care speaks volumes about who we are as a community. Thank you as well to my colleagues on the City Council watching online. Larry Campbell, Marge Vogt, Wes McCoy, Karen Brownlee, Adam Mickelson, and Kevin Gilmore. They're an outstanding team, and it's my privilege to serve alongside them. And thank you to our chamber as well for being such an incredible partner on this event. Tim McKee called me last week to say we'd be changing the format and going virtual. Tim, I know you were worried, so I wanted to let you know we will be able to save a little more money. The hotel says we can save the chicken for next year. Like everything this year, getting to today hasn't been easy, but the chamber and the city have a shared vision of the importance of this event. Thank you for helping to make it happen. Community partners like this are one of the multitude of reasons Olathe is in a premier place it is today, but few have had an impact greater than my friend Mike Copeland.
Spend any time at all in Olathe and you'll hear how proud we are of this great city. More importantly, you'll see that pride demonstrated in everything we do. Community that's growing in size and strength every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, we've become a city consistently recognized as one of the best places in America to live. that afternoon, the mayor, see, here's City Hall. It's a much fancier City Hall than we have here in Olathe. Here's the mayor. He gave them each a medal for their good deeds. Of course, Clifford got the biggest medal of all. We can all do good deeds. We just have to take into account what our abilities are. Did you know that the more you read, the smarter you get? So read on, readers. I take pride in the fact that Olathe is a united community of caring hearts. Without a doubt, and by any measure, Olathe, Kansas is at the top of the mountain. As your mayor, there is nothing that makes me prouder of Olathe, Kansas than knowing we deeply value each other. And it's our pride that unifies us in our mission to make Olathe a better place. Olathe's foundation is supporting our families, businesses, schools, charities, and places of worship. It unites neighbors and neighborhoods. We take care of each other. Olathe is a city I want to come home to.
This event was so important to Mike. He always loved to be with all of you. He was always nervous, and I have to admit, I now understand why. I regret that we're not able to be together today. I hope this is the only time we do it this way and that we'll all be together again soon. For those of you who don't know me well, I'm a small town farm kid. I learned a great deal growing up on a farm in McPherson, especially hard work. My 9 siblings and I took care of the animals, and there were a lot of them. Since I left, I've found those Western Kansas sayings had more wisdom than I'd ever knew. Farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you're 1,000 miles away from the cornfield. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. And you can make a small fortune in farming provided you start with a large one. And finally, and most importantly, there's this: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, Olathe is far from broken. We've charted a course that places this community as the very best place to live, as the best place to raise a family, and as the best place to start and grow a business. That course will continue. That course means tomorrow holds the incredible promise that Olathe will remain the crown jewel. So what does tomorrow hold? In 42 days, 2020 will be over. Thank God. I can hear everyone clapping. It's been a year where we've seen quarantines and masks, economic and family struggles, divisiveness and anger, the loss of our friend and mayor. But one day we'll reflect on 2020 and realize what it brought. Neighbors coming together, helping each other, and answering the challenge of an incredibly difficult year. Businesses innovating and evolving, even families revealing their resilience and determination, and of course, our community moving forward stronger and better. Despite the pandemic, tomorrow is seeing over 130,000 square feet of new retail now open or opening. Tomorrow, you will see new hotel rooms coming to our community with the opening of the Sheridan Hotel at the Garmin Soccer Complex. While many businesses have struggled, tomorrow still holds a path for job creation and growth. In the past year, nearly 1,000 jobs were either moved to Olathe or committed to staying here. Led by our chamber, over 1.2 million square feet of new commercial property is coming online. While tomorrow we'll see more jobs added by companies we all know like Garmin and NIC, Olathe will welcome new companies like Accelerate 360 with nearly 200 new jobs, plus a $100 million investment and even more jobs at Lineage Logistics. Olathe companies are leading the way for tomorrow as well. One company on the leading edge of taking down COVID-19, Roanoke LLC, is making high-tech products, giving researchers and scientists a new tool to grow, cure, and prevent viruses. Along with Garmin, Roanoke is one of 2 Olathe companies making what the Kansas Manufacturing Council calls the coolest thing made in Kansas. For the first time in decades, we're seeing tens of millions of private dollars being invested in our downtown. It will soon see new energy, new people, and even a new destination at our downtown library. With that, we see new jobs, new investment, and new opportunity for most promising tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we remain steadfastly committed to growing this economy, to growing our businesses, to helping them thrive, and to create jobs and investment that build a pathway for our future. Our future holds promise for our strong, thriving, and caring community, a community that refuses to be divided despite what the national narrative may say, a community that not only welcomes strangers, but ensures that they are not strangers for long. Despite the challenges of 2020, our community will welcome nearly 3,000 new residents into over 500 new homes, nearly 50 new villas, and over 450 new apartments. This welcoming spirit is only confirmed in our surveys. New residents say this is a great place to live and raise a family. Think about this. 95% of families who have lived here less than 5 years rate Olathe as a good or excellent place to live. Those numbers are incredible. These new families support our future and only build upon the core of community that makes Olathe great. They are a part of a community that comes together, supports each other, and is there when needed. Throughout 2020 and the reality of COVID, I've been amazed at what this community has done. We've coped with social distancing without being distant. Each week we see neighborhoods safely and responsibly come together to share laughs, stories, and support. We've seen this community embrace our essential frontline workers, our police and fire departments, our solid waste workers, staff at nursing homes, and those who care for our most vulnerable. It's that care and commitment that drive Olathe's national leading centers of compassion like Kids TLC and KVC, the Salvation Army Family Lodge, Center of Grace, and so many more. It's also stories about our hospital system, our faith community, or individuals coming together to fill a need. Those stories are who we are. Despite all the hardship, there are reasons to celebrate and recognize those who shaped the cornerstone of this community. They are called cathedral builders. I'm sure you know the story. A young boy walked up to a group of masons and asked, "Sirs, what are you doing?" The first mason said, "Son, I'm laying bricks. I'm working hard to feed my family." The second mason said, "I'm a builder. I'm building a wall." The third mason said, "Son, we are building a cathedral for all to see and all to use for generations to come." This year, our cathedral builders had to step up in ways never seen before as we faced a life-changing pandemic. More than ever, we are grateful for those innovation and passion, for the innovation and passion of those at Olathe Health.
As COVID-19 began to spread in the U.S., many wondered how it would affect their family. Every step of the way, Olathe Health was there to calm the fear and anxiety of its community. They started with messages containing information and resources needed to be safe. Working with health systems in the metro, they discussed best practices. Soon, measures were put into place to ensure hospitals and clinics were safely providing care for those with illness, injuries, and other needs. New healthcare options were added, including telehealth and a nurse hotline. Olathe Health also prepared its staff and hospital for those who would need COVID-related care. Eventually, those patients arrived. Each day, 9 to 12 were in the hospital, including Manny, a man who nearly lost his battle with COVID. After 88 days in the hospital, he was recently discharged, surrounded by staff and family who proudly watched him return home. With so much uncertainty attached to COVID, it would have been easy for doctors, nurses, and all other staff inside the walls of Olathe Health to grow tired. Thanks to support from residents, spirits have been raised with signs, cards, food, car parades, donations, and even a flyover. The support has helped these healthcare heroes fight even harder for a community they love and a community they will proudly serve throughout the pandemic and beyond.
Stan Holmes, CEO of Olathe Health, is here. Stan, would you please join me and accept this award? Thank you. Stan, thank you and your team. Congratulations for leading the way with the best healthcare in our region. We've heard a lot of difficult stories over the past year. So many saw their world turn upside down. But for each of those, there are so many more stories of Olathians answering the call for their neighbors in need, showing grace, compassion, and mercy.
Seeing reports of COVID-19 quickly spreading through countries afar, Americans knew it was only a matter of time before the disease would affect the U.S. Hoping to help Olathe prepare, Lietta Felter grabbed a few pieces of material and a sewing machine and started designing.
Okay, the first prototype is done.
Little did Felter know that single mask would inspire Masks of Mercy, a volunteer movement with hopes of protecting Olathe. Quickly seeing the need to grow operations, Olathe firefighter Chris Camp and Pastor Troy Snyder joined the team, helping Masks of Mercy become a community-wide effort. Grab-and-go kits were placed outside fire stations, offering residents one box to drop off fabric and another to pick up supplies. Sewing machines were borrowed from Indian Creek Library, and in just a few weeks, thousands of fabric masks had been handcrafted solely by volunteers. Seeing a need for N95 masks, they expanded. They discovered a 3D file online, and with the help of Susie Scheiderer and the 3D printer at Indian Creek Library, an N95 replica was created. To make the masks at a quicker pace,
we have our finished mask.
pediatric dentist Dr. John Fales joined the team, donating his printers to the cause. Between the two volunteers, nearly 500 COVID Guardians have been printed for first responders and medical personnel. To date, 25,000 fabric masks have been sewn and given to long-term care facilities, hospitals, churches, schools, businesses, and even those in need outside the metro. Their mission is not yet complete. Masks of Mercy will continue to support the community for as long as it takes, ensuring their acts of kindness are felt wherever needed, one mask at a time.
Would Lietta Felter and Dr. John Fales please come forward to accept this award? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Do you want a picture with this?
Uh,
Okay. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Your organization reminds us what makes Olathe so great, the people. Thank you for all you've done for our community this year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a virtual round of applause for our award winners. You know, it's so important for us to remember we're not just laying bricks, but building a beautiful community that will be here for generations to come. We've all faced the struggle of dealing with a pandemic, but few have faced the challenges that our schools have. Our administrators, our teachers, our families, and our kids have had to adjust and adjust quickly. Teachers are instructing and kids are learning in ways few of us could have imagined just 9 months ago. Yet this challenge has only strengthened our schools, their resolve and ability to serve our kids. There are bumps in the road and learning on the fly, but Olathe schools remain committed to delivering world-class education. Our schools remain the single most important driver in Olathe's dynamic growth and our economic success. In my 20 years on the State Board of Education, I learned one thing as a constant. Our schools and our school districts have always stood out, and I believe they always will. It's not just our schools that are performing well. Despite the challenges we face, the men and women serving you in Olathe, our employees, have adapted, adjusted, and never wavered from their commitment and dedication to the city. They've continued their innovative approach to business, always with you, the customer, and you, the taxpayer, in mind. They have leveraged technology, found new ways of working, adjusted to staffing challenges, and continued performing. Many of you know Chris Tatham and ETC Institute in Olathe. I can brag about our performance all day, but Chris is the nation's premier expert on city performance satisfaction. ETC is doing great things. They have an exciting new tool they are offering their client cities. Chris, would you join me and share just a little bit about this?
Mayor, it's a real privilege to be here and just to hear about all the great things that have been happening in the city. And for those of you out there who aren't familiar with ETC Institute, we're actually based here in Olathe. Our company serves thousands of cities and counties around the world, helping get input from the average resident who doesn't have a chance to attend meetings or talk to city council members, but has an opinion about what's important and how city services should be delivered. About 20 years ago, we began working with the city of Olathe and 10 other communities in the Kansas City area to develop a standard called Direction Finder to really be able to assess our services being delivered well. Because we found that things like Parks and Recreation always got positive ratings and things like code enforcement always tended to be rated more negatively. So over the years, we developed those standards, but we never actually looked to see how well individual communities were performing against other communities. At least until last April when things shut down, our firm had extra time. So we had people who weren't working start going through the results of more than 400 community surveys that had been administered between 2017 and the summer of 2020 to determine what the standards for performance excellence really should be. And based on that, we developed a new award called the Leading the Way Award. And it is given out to those communities that rank in the top 10% of all communities in the country with regard to the overall quality of service they provide, the customer service of their employees, and perhaps in many ways, most importantly, the perceived value for taxes and fees. So it's my privilege today to be able to announce that the city of Olathe is one of the first recipients of that award. And not only has the city won the award, the city has also set the standard in many individual areas. Normally I speak extemporaneously, but there were so many places, so many areas the city performed well, I brought notes. To give you an example, the city of Olathe, among all communities, over 400 communities that did the survey during the period, was number one in yard waste services, household hazardous waste services, perceived ratings of city management and staff, quality of stormwater services, overall communication, and overall use of the city's social media sites. In addition, among communities with more than 100,000 residents, the city is also number one in customer service, perceived leadership of elected officials, public safety services, water services, street lighting, bulk item pickup, and curbside recycling. And to round out the accomplishments of the city was also in the top 10% in Parks and Recreation, code enforcement, the city's website, police services, and trash services. So it's with great honor and a privilege to me to present this award to you, Mayor, from ETC Institute. The accomplishments of the city are truly exceptional, and the city truly is leading the way with regard to city performance and meeting resident expectations. So thank you for letting me be here.
Wow, thanks, Chris. What an honor. Thank you. Nice award, too. Our services are shaping what tomorrow looks like, and it's because of the men and women so dedicated to serving you. And to our employees watching online, I assure you everyone is giving you an ovation you deserve right now. It's not just the services that are leading us to a tomorrow of promise. Olathe is now home to one of the region's premier park destinations, Lake Olathe Park and Beach, have been recognized both locally and regionally. Connecting Lake Olathe to Cedar Lake will be the new Cedar Creek Trail. It's adding 2.5 miles of trails to our city network that already includes nearly 23 miles. With the county trails in our community, including the new Cedar Niles Trail, Olathe residents will have access to nearly 50 miles of trails by the end of next year. We've also opened a new fully accessible park at Indian Creek Library, ensuring kids of all abilities have a place to play and grow. Olathe now has 40 parks, and if you haven't heard, a group of dedicated volunteers created a legacy for our families of our fallen service members who have made our future possible. Dedicated just this fall at Veterans Park is Kansas's only Gold Star Families Memorial. It is truly a one-of-a-kind monument honoring those who have made the greatest sacrifice of all. Our Indian Creek Library is a future-ready approach to meeting the community's needs today and tomorrow. It's becoming a regional destination and a true community treasure for Olathians of all ages. Tomorrow holds even more promise as we work to bring that experience and those opportunities to downtown with the new downtown library. This is all amazing to think about, but what's just as amazing is this. Through all the growth and challenges, Olathe remains a top-rated city for fiscal stability and responsibility. As Standard & Poor's says, Olathe has very strong financial management with strong financial policies and practices and budgetary flexibility. The city hasn't been immune from COVID's impact. Not only is it impacting staffing, like nearly every company in the country, it has also impacted our revenues. We've taken prudent steps and responsibility to address a $9 million budget shortfall while minimizing service disruption. We've delayed purchases, capped spending, and initiated citywide employee furloughs, except for police officers and firefighters. These were far from easy decisions, but they were the right responsible steps to take to keep us on solid financial footing. This only validates what the rating agencies say. Olathe is proactive in identifying revenue shortfalls and reducing expenditures in anticipation of the declines. The promise tomorrow holds for our library, our parks, our trails, our downtown is equaled by what tomorrow holds for everyone who drives on our streets, boulevards, and parkways. As Chris said, we're performing better than nearly everyone, and the answer to how is simple. We have an excellent staff and an engaged and informed public who we listen to. You've told us time and time again that traffic flow is incredibly important. Today, you're traveling quickly and conveniently through what was one of our most congested intersections, Ridgeview and Santa Fe. It was tough for our businesses in that area, including mine. But right now, you're seeing a difference. The bottlenecks is gone. The same goes for 151st between I-35 and Ridgeview. We're moving better. Today, you're seeing upgrades on Lone Elm, north of 151st, and tomorrow, you will soon see improvements at Old 56 and Lone Elm. Tomorrow, we'll no longer see traffic backing up on I-35 at 119th. Thanks to the help from our congressional delegation and partners at the state, in just a matter of weeks, we'll break ground on a major project to add capacity to that interchange. Early next year, we're planning to cut the ribbon and open Mahaffey Circle behind Garmin. This will give us another option to cross I-35. We're also in the early planning stages to extend 119th over the western train tracks to Woodland Road. Barriers like I-35 and the railroad are not barriers in our tomorrow. By nearly every measure, Olathe remains one of the safest cities in America. We're fortunate to be served by one of the nation's very best fire departments. They continue a forward-thinking approach to serving us. Olathe has the top rating by the Insurance Standards Office, so you know our property is in good hands. The department is recognized by the American Heart Association for their tremendous response and save rates for stroke and heart attack victims. They're recognized for their leadership in serving our underserved community. As we are slated to open our new fire station number 8 next year in Southwest Olathe, they've proven time and again that our fire department will be there for us today and in the future. Olathe is staying safe because of our shared values: respect, empathy, listening to understand, and building trust. Our police department has been a leader in bringing community together, and today they're leading in having true and meaningful dialogues and difficult conversations. Let me give you one example of how these values have an impact. These are Officers Green, Pettit, and Fitzpatrick. Officers Fitzpatrick and Pettit recently responded to a call of an intoxicated subject. We've received this call before, so we knew that this subject wasn't drunk. He's a survivor of a traumatic brain injury. They offered to take him to a homeless shelter, but he wouldn't have made it back for his doctor's appointment. Our officers could have simply moved him away from the busy road. They could have dropped him off at the gas station and bought him a soda, but instead, they dug into their own pockets and bought him a hotel room. When asked why they did this, Officer Fitzpatrick simply said, "He's a part of our community." And we didn't stop there. Officer Green followed up with a phone call to help him find more stable housing. That man not only made it to his doctor's appointment, but today he's also reconnected with his family and once again has a place to call home. Respect, empathy, listening, trust. These aren't just talking points. Our officers live these values each day and know why they matter. Our future holds a stronger police department that gains its strength by strengthening the community. Our officers are in every neighborhood working with every group and demographic. They do so with extended hearts and open hands. They don't want to be strangers. Please don't forget, they want to hear from you, from all of you. We've had a lot of change this year. The loss of Mayor Copeland, remote learning, masks, we even all learned how to Zoom. With all the challenges so many face today, with the uncertainty, I go back to my childhood and something my mother always stressed to us. It has stayed with me to this day. She said, "Life always has challenges, and there are never any guarantees. It's how we remain strong, positive, and move forward that tells us who we are." Today's challenges are different, but I know who Olathe is, and I know who we will always be. In Olathe, we can always count on a community that cares. We can always count on a local government that listens. We can always trust that our charities and places of worship will be there for those in need. We can trust that we will always be looking forward, never satisfied with today, but striving for a better future. And tomorrow we can always count on each other right here in this special place we call Olathe. Can we say with absolute certainty exactly what the future holds for Olathe, Kansas? No, but we can say this: it is limitless and has a promise that only Olathe can offer. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of our city is strong. Thank you, and God bless.